The other end of the spectrum is it's called ATP-CP, which is a creatine phosphate system. That is...
Wait, ATP-CT?
CP.
Damn it. Okay.
If you really want to know, it's adenosine triphosphate creatine phosphate system.
Let me write that down.
Yeah, I see you writing right now. You forget you're on camera, too.
Even though it's slowly, I can see your plan unfolding open in front of me. My walk is far from over strolling, holding on to pieces, the reasons I feel them chosen, rendered incomplete. A trophy far from worthy, now I know it's steady.
Just one touch. Now, baby, I believe this is real. So take a chance and don't ever look back. Don't ever look back.
All right, before we turn Parker's microphone on, we're going to introduce Elisa Cohen, who's in the studio. Hi, Elisa. How you doing?
Hi, great.
Sorry about your Vikings. I was rooting for them.
We all were, but
We all were.
when you're from Minnesota, I feel like you get accustomed to.
Oh, don't even talk to when you're a Detroit Lions fan. Then you get it.
But we're diehard, you know. We're stand behind them.
Well, what else is there to do in Minnesota or Michigan but sit around and watch football? I mean, that's what we do.
It is.
Question for you. Before you came in today, did Parker warn you about his weird fixation with Katy Perry?
You know what? He didn't warn me. I feel like it's something that I should have known, however.
You should know that.
You kind of already knew it, right?
I think I kind of already knew it, and then I forgot. So
now, it's okay.
Come back to visit. Had to remind you.
It's okay for you to hate on Katy Perry, but we love Katy Perry. Are you okay with Katy Perry?
Absolutely.
She's fantastic.
She's wonderful.
She's very talented. And I know it's pop music, but it doesn't matter. It's great.
It is great. It gets me pumped up for the show.
Gets him pumped up for the show.
Like last time I was on, I was confused. I was worried about
I was
a song
playing
from
weird
before
60s
my time.
and 70s music that you'd never heard before, even though it's an ultimate classic.
Whatever.
Anyway, Parker Condit's in the studio from the Aspen Clinic. Comes in each and every week, and we talk about, we always plan on talking about something.
We try to get to fitness,
and we
eventually.
never get to it because we get stuck on Katy Perry. Like last week, we were supposed to talk about the anaerobic lactic system, the anaerobic lactic system, and the aerobic system.
Yep, we didn't get there.
We didn't get anywhere close.
We got to metabolic syndrome.
We got to what was that again?
It's like 5 markers that tend to be like precursors to a lot of the chronic diseases.
I think I've already forgotten.
Great. Well, it's up on YouTube.
But today we brought in Elisa because she is a marathon runner. You qualified for Boston?
I did. I just recently qualified for Boston.
That's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Like how fast? Like when you're running a marathon, how fast are your miles? I'm sure you average them out. What are your?
I average about 8-minute miles, and I usually run my splits. I try to run them a little faster than that.
Now, if you're running a 5K, which you probably never do, but if you did, how fast would you run a 5K? A minute, like you would go like 5-minute 6-minute miles.
I run sub 7s, so yeah, six something. Maybe when you average it out, close to 7.
Parker, are some people just good at this? Because I was athletic from the time I was could walk, and running has been the worst for me from day one.
So I'm not a fan of running, especially I don't really like running long for sure.
I don't like running long, short, or anything. Cardio, I don't like any of it.
You've mentioned that before.
Yeah, I hate it.
Like everyone's gonna have their preference. I don't like going long because anytime I had to run long as a kid, it was always training for sports. So I had like some other goal. Like I wasn't doing it like that wasn't its own independent sport. I was like training for soccer, training for lacrosse, whatever it might be. So now I don't have. So this will tie in well to like the mental piece. I don't have like that mental aspect when it gets really hard and you're like, why am I doing this? I don't have a good answer. So that's when I stop. So that's like most people, they have some internal motivation to keep going when they're doing like marathons. So that's why I've dedicated this year. I'm calling it the year of the 5K. I'm not running longer than 3.1 miles at all.
We love and I love the 5K. She's over there thinking, oh, the 5K, whatever. But you and I love the 5K.
Yeah. So it's totally different energy systems too. 5K.
Way to segue right into what we're supposed to talk about.
Right in. I'm not letting this one go for another week, which might turn into a month.
Well, let me ask you before we get into whatever you just said. Did you have the presidential fitness test when you were in elementary school?
Yep.
Did you ever get it?
Yep.
Hate you. Did you ever get it?
I did.
Damn it! See, I did everything great except for the running. I couldn't do the running.
So even then,
The
Everything
shuttle run.
else. I mean, were you just always able to run long distance? Like as soon as what was it, like the 400 or 1600, whatever you ran for that stupid test?
yeah, it was a mile, right?
It
It was a
mi-
mile, and then you had the shuttle run, which is like the sprinting part, right? Where you
Well,
have to
that was
knock over
act-
the block.
That I was good at.
It's like 20 meters.
Yeah.
God, that one was as good at. But were you always able to just go and run?
Yes. Yes. I think that athletically speaking, I've always been able to run and push through some of those barriers when you start to get really fatigued and your body shuts down and it gets ugly.
Like when you jog with your friends, are you able to like have a conversation, talk politics, talk religion, and are you able to do that?
Yes.
What about you, Parker? Are you able to?
No.
Not a chance.
I'm an ugly runner.
Not a chance. I need the oxygen tank,
I'm
and
just-
don't talk to me until we're done running.
Yeah, just heavily mouth breathing and just counting down the
So
time until it's going to be over.
It is body type. It has to be something in our body.
People have preferences, but you can definitely train for these things. Like you're not
But
necessarily.
you're still
You're going to be you're going to have a predisposition
like runner
towards one or
girl
the
over
other.
here though has something in her body that makes it easier for her than you and I, right?
So some people have more fast twitch muscle fibers. Some people have more slow twitch muscle fibers.
So she's slow twitchy,
Yes.
and are you saying I'm fast twitchy?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was thought for many, many years that it's like whatever you have, you're kind of stuck with that. And like definitely whatever you're born with, that's going to gear you more towards endurance events or more of like a sprinting and power sport. Like baseball is like the ultimate power sport, like long breaks in between doing anything really. And then, but the ball comes to you, you need to throw, you need to be able to run really fast, hitting, that's such a power sport. And on the other end of like ball sports, you would look at something like soccer, where you need to be able to go for really 45 minutes straight, then you get a little break, and then you're back in again. So you're going to be predisposed to one of those two. And some people are more of a blend in the middle. But they started doing muscle biopsies of people in the early 2000s, like taking out people's muscle and studying seeing how much slow twitch muscle fiber you have versus fast twitch, and then training those people for their weaker system. And you actually can increase the amount of slow twitch.
Well, you can increase it, but you can't make it like I'll never be equal to Lisa, for example, or Crazy Jen.
So they're both really good runners, but
Yeah.
so comparing yourself to other people is never really a good metric. It's just like comparing your baseline to where you could be.
So I have a question. Is this something that you can actually physically see on people's bodies? Like you can look at a runner and they are usually pretty lean and they're not quite as bulky, probably because of their training. But you look at like a bodybuilder and you can see some of that muscle, the difference in like those longer, leaner muscles versus like.
I don't know if you can actually see it. That's a good question. I know the shape of muscles, that's not determined by your lifting. That's like the connective tissue.
Mm-hmm.
Some people's abs look different than others.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not because of how they train their abs. That's just the connective tissue across your stomach. So some people's abs just show up differently. So that's gonna be the same thing like with your arms. Like that's the only difference between sort of like how your muscles are gonna
So
look.
is that why Jesse's arms look like my thighs? Because he's got connective tissue.
It's just the connective tissue.
It's just a connective tissue.
It's not his muscles.
No,
it's
there's-
just the
it's
connective,
the connective tissue.
His connective tissue shape his muscles.
So I got the connective tissue short end of the stick
Yeah.
in evolution.
You
Damn
didn't-
it!
You didn't get that in the genetic pool.
Damn it, stupid Jesse. Don't tell him I said that.
Great hair though.
So, yeah, hey, there you go. Great hair. There you go. All right, so we got 3 types of, what I don't know. I forget.
Energy systems.
Energy systems. And why are these important to me?
Well, the one that you're not good at.
Which is what?
That's your aerobic system.
Okay, yeah, I suck at that.
So pretty much everyone needs like a strong aerobic base. Aerobic just means in the presence of oxygen, which means, when you're breathing, you need that oxygen to produce energy.
Yeah.
The other end of the spectrum is the ATP-CP system.
Okay, now hold on for a minute. Lisa, will you shut that door? Because Brandon Blocker is loud and obnoxious. You don't have to shut it all the way. Just okay, back to you. Sorry.
Okay, so the other end of the spectrum is it's called ATP-CP, which is a creatine phosphate system. That is
Wait, ATPCT?
CP.
Damn it. Okay.
If you really want to know, it's adenosine triphosphate, creatine phosphate system.
Let me write that down.
Yeah, I see you writing right now. You forget you're on camera too. So that system, think about if you're walking in the woods and you see a bear and you need to run, that's the instant energy that you get. It's coming purely from your muscles and you have a very finite amount of it, and it lasts like 8 to 10 seconds. So think an all-out sprint, that's purely using that energy system.
Okay.
Next one up lasts for about 2 minutes, and that's going to be the glycolytic system. That's where you're using glucose.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it.
That's all right. That's all right.
I just look at your eyes. When they start to glaze over, I stop.
Well, they glaze over when pretty much in a minute.
Yeah.
As soon as you start describing the workout of the day,
Yeah.
I glaze.
You're like, I'm just going to talk to
He
whoever's next
starts
to me.
talking in acronyms.
It's pretty bad.
Oh, boy.
It's pretty bad. That system's not working for me either, whatever that one is. So, all right.
Next one's glycolytic, and that's using glucose for energy. So you're burning glucose. That's why you hear about carb loading. You need a certain amount of carbs to, produce and turn into energy. And then the longer one, anything long distance, that's going to be your aerobic system.
Okay.
The aerobic system is the base of everything, though.
It's the base of everything. So
Yeah.
without it,
If you have a
I'm
bigger,
hosed, or as she says, hoosed.
so even for people who are doing power sports, if you have a better aerobic base, you're going to be better off.
Damn it. So that's my excuse. I don't have a great aerobic base.
Yeah, you're purely in those first two energy systems.
Awesome.
So even though I described them like that, it's
Yeah.
not like they're all independent of each other. Like when you're doing an all-out sprint, you're still using your aerobic system. Like all of them turn on. Some of them are just upregulated or downregulated. So it's not like, 10 seconds,
Right.
that first
They're
one's
all
done.
working at all times.
Right.
Just in different levels. So like when I
Exactly.
was on the air bike on Saturday and I was doing the last 10 seconds or 5 seconds as hard as I could, that I was tapping into what system was that?
I would say normally that would probably be your ATP CP system.
Yeah, that one.
But by that point, it was probably already exhausted, so you were just trashing your glycolytic system.
Trashing.
Just whatever glucose you had
and
left,
is
you were
that what
fighting for it.
Elisa's doing when she's running, at the 16th mile? Trashing her whatever system you were just telling me about?
That's going to be largely aerobic at that point, but you're definitely still using glucose. So I'm curious, how much do you fuel during a marathon? Like how many calories do you know?
I'm not sure how many calories. I start eating a lot more fatty foods about 10 days out, like avocados.
Okay.
And
yeah.
so not quite as heavy on the carbs, which is, I think, what most people tend to do is eat
Yeah.
a lot of pastas and carbs. I'll still eat carbs, but fattier foods and carbs. And I eat about 2 hours before my runs, my long runs. And
Fatty food or carbs?
both.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people mess up. A lot of people tend to carb load, even though your body can only hold so many calories of carbs. Like somebody my size, I can probably hold 2,000. But I mean, even 2,000 calories, that wouldn't get me through a marathon. Like a marathon's going to be like 3,500 to 4,000 calories, depending on how big you are.
Right.
And what Elisa was saying, she tends to start eating fattier foods, and she probably has a pretty good metabolism, so she's already fat adapted. So she's actually burning fat when she's using her aerobic system, which is the much more efficient way to do it.
See, I got lost when she says I start eating avocado a week before. I mean, you don't eat avocado 2 weeks before? What the hell
Definitely.
All
is
the
wrong
time?
with you? Like
All the time.
Every day.
I do, but I'll eat more. I mean, like peanuts, almonds, anything that I can, like seeds, I just throw into my mouth. Avocados, like fatty foods all day. Peanut butter, coconut oil on my toast, like just.
See, now,
Smart.
You explained to me that peanuts aren't nuts; they're legumes, right?
Yeah.
Now, but it's a
They're still fatty.
but it's a vegetable,
So
right? So if I eat vegetables all the time, I can eat all the peanuts I want because I'm eting vegetables.
you're looking for loopholes.
No,
See, so many
that's
times.
not a loophole. It's
So-
like eating. If I said, Parker, I want to eat broccoli all day, you'd be like, oh, go after it.
I would, but I know
The
you
same
get
with
bored.
peanuts.
No.
It's
See,
a legume.
It is a legume. So this is something that people always do with me. Like when I give them like nutritional guidelines, like they go home and do like 4 hours of research. They're like, so technically under
There's a
these
loophole.
rules, I
There's
can
a
eat.
loophole. Don't stick up for
Oh
him.
my gosh.
Don't stick up for him.
I'm like, if you had to do that much research, you probably know what I'm going to say.
So why is it though that the legume is, or why can't I just live off of avocado? You're going to tell me I probably can't do that either because it's too fatty?
No, I'm fine but if you have to do it in a certain way. So that's getting into nutritional ketosis. And probably by the end of the race, you're probably pretty far into ketosis.
Mm-hmm.
Like your body turns fats into these things called ketones. Then your body uses them as energy. That's part of the aerobic system. It's called, I think, endurance, or what's it called? Aerobically induced ketosis. But there's nutritionally induced ketosis too, and that's eating a lot of fat. But you need to be up in the 75 to 80% range of all your calories being consumed as fat.
I thought ketosis was an Atkins thing.
Atkins usually doesn't go far enough. It's usually too much protein. But yeah, that basic idea where it's a lot of fat and then very carb restricted.
So then you don't eat any sugar? Like none?
No, I eat lots of sugar.
I love her.
I eat whatever I want.
I thought sugar was the enemy of ketosis.
It is. But so nutritional ketosis is different than exercise-induced ketosis.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Just because she's probably burned through all the glucose in her body, or at least most of it, where her body's recognizing like, well, she's not slowing down. We need to find an alternative fuel source. And then your body starts producing ketones from fat. And ketones are very efficient.
Speaking with Parker Condit of the Aspen Clinic, and of course our guest Elisa Cohen, who is our marathon running expert. How many marathons have you run?
Oh man, I actually haven't run as many as you would think.
Okay, but let me ask
I think I've run 7 now.
a solid 7 more than I have run. So definitely. Okay, so when you're running the marathon, how many times during the 26 miles?
26.2.
Yep, 26.2
Point
miles.
two matters.
The
at that
point 2 is the hardest.
Well, I'm thinking that last point 2 is a drag.
Yes.
How many times in that 26.2 do you in your brain say, what am I doing? This is stupid, and just like stop it. You just need to stop because it hurts so bad.
If you train right and nutritionally, if you're eating throughout, so I eat when I'm running, if I can grab a banana, like that is 100% what I gravitate towards. I'll eat bananas and water.
So if some knucklehead on the side of the road is trying to hand you a banana, you're taking that damn banana.
Oh, absolutely.
Or the Gatorade.
10 times out of 10, I'm taking the banana, and I'm not grabbing Gatorade.
Not touching the Gatorade.
Nope, just
not touching
water.
the energy drink in the water. Why?
Water, every water station.
Why? Why no energy drink?
That was the way that I was actually trained. So my endurance coach that gave me my program was like, don't go for the electrolytes. You can grab those if you want, but they're going to be enough of those in what you have on you for nutrition. So like goos and those types of things. Always grab water. Now,
when you're running, do you look forward to a run? And are you weird running, smiling person that nobody? Because I'm always looking for the smiling person, and I know Parker. I've seen him run, not smiling.
Yes, that is a mental game though. So that's more about even if you're suffering, smiling for some reason. I mean, I feel better. So the neurotransmitters that we can kind of trick our bodies in some ways into feeling differently than we may be physically feeling. So I'll force a smile sometimes if I'm really suffering.
So you force it to try to
be like, I need serotonin and dopamine.
So you're
now.
So light, I'm happy.
You are lying to yourself to try to make it a reality.
Yes.
Is that what happens to me in the gym? Because when I'm in the gym and I start really working hard, all I want to do is laugh because it hurts so much. Is that the same thing? No.
I feel like you'd be more the expert on that.
So, there's times in his stupid workouts where all I want to do is laugh with somebody because it sucks so bad.
Yeah, you should. You'll feel better.
That's why I go to these things. I try to laugh with the Redmond sisters. They make me laugh.
Yes.
So
There'll be a few of them there today.
I hope so. They said they were signed up, but you never know. They some of them go out on Sunday nights hard.
Get the Irish flu.
Yes. But so these are the things you learn if you head on out to the Aspen Clinic. You go to what's the website there? theaspenclinic.org.
Yes, that's right.
TAC is how do you describe to people? That's exactly right. I have no idea how to describe how to get there.
What's it?
You turn left at the light.
By the campground.
It's not the light that goes to Whole Foods. It's the one before that. If you're going down Valley.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's like the first will. No, it's not even that. You can't say that either.
Yeah. Everyone's got a smartphone. Just put it in there.
There you go.
1460 East Valley Road.
1460 East Valley Road, and you'll find it. It's the Mid Valley Medical Center. And so, what should we take away from this? What nugget can I take away from this today, other than force yourself to smile when life is just crummy?
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
And then you need a big aerobic base. That'll help everything else in your
And
fitness
how do I get
life.
a big aerobic base?
Doing the stuff you don't like to do.
Run more.
Run.
More rowing.
More.
Run, bike, row.
I hate
That
you.
foundation. You're building a pyramid.
That's right.
Thanks, Elisa. Thanks, Parker.
Thanks for having me.
Like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start